आपका रूम में आ गया?
नहीं, इधर ही इसमें
मतलब
side में जाना.
ये दो कंप्यूटर
This whole computer I have shifted this side in the conference hall.
साहब का भी रेडी है ना?
आपका भी ready.
हाँ.
You can click it.
कितना पार्टिसिपेंट्स आ गया?
2 participants.
हाँ?
Two.
Only two.
Two, sir. Only two.
अभी लॉग इन किया ना, इसलिए होगा.
हाँ.
10 मिनट फेसबुक जारी है अभी.
Actually, it is in practice.
हाँ?
I'll start the regular webinar, sir. Start.
Pardon?
I started the webinar.
हाँ, वेबिनार स्टार्ट कर दीजिए ना, क्योंकि लेट देम जॉइन, एवरीबॉडी जॉइन.
Yeah, people are joining 9-10 minutes.
10:30 शार्प शुरू कर देंगे.
Join.
फोन उधर शिफ्ट करवा दीजिए.
I'll just help साहब को.
हाँ.
Increasing.
Sharing Divya.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹತ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದೆ.
ಹತ್ತಿರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ. Is it okay now?
It is fine sir, now it is fine. भाषा जी शुरू करेंगे क्या?
फेसबुक 71 people have joined.
हाँ, स्टार्ट कर दीजिए.
Start live.
आप बहुत नजदीक हो गए, इसलिए वहीं में आता है. आप दोनों बहुत नजदीक हो गए ना?
नहीं, दोनों एक ही रूम में है.
हाँ, इसलिए थोड़ा आता है. आप शुरू कर दीजिए. साहब को म्यूट कर दीजिए पहले. साहब को म्यूट कर दीजिए, so that we can work it on. शुरू करिए भाषा.
Yeah. Good morning. Welcome all the participants. And first, I welcome our director, Dr. P.S. Mahesh sir, for the second day of this awareness program on poultry entrepreneurship. Today, we have with us Dr. Pratap Kumar, who is a speaker for this session. So, I request our director, Dr. Mahesh sir, to start the opening.
आप म्यूट कर दीजिए, थोड़ा वॉइस. Good morning, everyone. I think today is the second day of the session, wherein we have scheduled two eminent experts, Professor Pratap Kumar and BSV Reddy sir, so who are our pillars of our institution, I would say, who have put in more than 40 years of experience. Professor Pratap Kumar is a management specialist, and sir has been responsible for creating Giriraja. You would have seen Giriraja, Swarnadhara, those birds being created by Professor Pratap Kumar sir. I think Basha ji Facebook live hai na? Did you check? Basha ji? Basha ji? Basha ji, can you listen to me?
Yes, sir. 2 minutes. It's going live. Just 2 minutes.
Pardon?
2 minutes.
आप आई थिंक रूम बदलना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज वाइब्रेशन आ रहा है. Is it live now, so that we don't want to miss audience from Facebook? Good morning, all participants. Hope you had a good breakfast. And we'll just start in 2 minutes. We're just setting up our Facebook Live. So once we go Facebook Live, we will start the regular program. I hope rains have reduced across the country. Basha ji? I hope yesterday's session was useful, wherein Dr. Krishnan gave a very comprehensive information, and it's a package of information about activities of poultry. So I would encourage people to revisit our Facebook. We have put an entire schedule in our Facebook page, cpdoti.bangalore, and the recordings will be there in the Facebook page every day. I think my team is setting up the Facebook page. So once we are live on Facebook, we will proceed further. Basha ji?
Yes, sir. I'm trying.
Okay. Mr. Timayaji, I think you can write to Krishnan sir. Krishnan sir presentation is very big, but you can get it through Google Drive. So yesterday we shared the number of Dr. Krishnan. Any problem, Basha?
Facebook is not responding.
ये सिस्टम में देख लीजिए दूर रूम में. Is it because of the close proximity?
दोबारा मुझे वो फेसबुक में शेयर करना पड़ेगा था. कल आपने शेयर किया था फेसबुक में, सेम और एक शेयर कीजिए.
Same procedure, Basha. Yesterday, what you
Yes.
followed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to call Jeevan,
Yeah, it's starting. No, it's started. Yes, sir.
you started. It's live.
Yeah.
Shall we go ahead? ऊपर दिखाते हैं ना रिकॉर्डिंग.
Preparing.
Mic echo sound disturbing. We will just set it up. Don't worry. Only 1 minute. We will all mute so that it will be all right. बादशाह जी,
Sir.
आप को स्टार्ट करके अपना रूम में शिफ्ट हो जाइए.
Okay. We once this Facebook was like.
Good morning, all. We are just little hang up with issues of Facebook. My team is sorting out. We will just go in a few moments. अभी क्या दिखा रहे हैं वाशी जी?
Sir, I think we can go on with this program.
Okay.
After recording that takes place, after the program we can upload it in our Facebook because there is some issue with Facebook.
You shift it to the room and be in touch with Jeevan and sort out the issue.
Okay.
Okay. So now let me start the program. We are little apologetic for the issues which we are not able to go into the Facebook. But anyway, Zoom participants are always there. We will just upload again into the Facebook. So let me introduce Professor Pratap Kumar without any delay. Already we have lost quite some time. Professor Pratap Kumar would be addressing on the issues of management in detail, very, very keenly, very small nuances of brooding, very small nuances of housing, very small nuances of other issues. All over to Professor Pratap Kumar. Basha ji. Sir, can you get connected?
Good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Pratap Kumar. Today I will be talking about some salient features of poultry management. It will be those. We, the people who are into poultry industry, poultry enterprise, usually say success in a poultry unit depends upon a triangle. To be fair, it's an isosceles triangle. That means all the three sides are equal. no side is bigger, no side is smaller. The three components of this
Sir,
triangle.
Sir, your screen sharing is not done, sir. Take some help for getting screen shared, sir, for presentation. Dr. Sonali, Dr. Rabi Mambachaji.
Just 1 minute. From that laptop. Just 1 minute. So you can give
Screen sharing.
The three components there in the triangle are the factors which are responsible for success in poultry enterprise.
Dr. Sonali, are you there?
Doing it from their room.
No, please start the presentation. Please start the presentation. No, इसमें करिए ना. Touch pad से करिए ना. No, with touch pad you can. आप बात करिए sir. You continue sir. You continue sir.
One of the sides of the triangle is heredity or genetics, the genetic makeup of the flock. The second component is nutrition, what you feed to the birds, how you manage them. And the third component is the management aspect. All these three are equally important. Even though we may say the genetic factor is the main basis, unless there is some
लोड किया ना. चेंज करता सर.
As I was telling, among the triangle, the basis is heredity. One of the sides is management and another is nutrition. From your point of view, from the point of view of a common man or a common practitioner, heredity and nutrition are not so important in the thing. Heredity, it takes minimum 8 generations to bring about any change in the genetic makeup. But too, if you are lucky, you will be getting some good positive result in 8 generations. It is not sure that you are going to get positive response even after 80 generations. But this is the theoretical limitation. The minimum 8 generations are required to bring about any change. So a common poultry farmer or a poultry advisor will not be dealing with changing the genetic makeup of the bird because it requires 8 generations. That means minimum 8 to 10 years. And coming to the feeding aspect, there are many companies, multinational companies or local companies, which are manufacturing balanced feed. What is a balanced feed? Balanced feed is one in which the nutrients are supplied in the required proportion. If you add any nutrient, either vitamin, protein, or mineral in excess of the requirement, you are wasting the nutrients. If you add it in a lesser dose, lower dose, the birds will suffer from deficiency. So it has to be correctly balanced. Therefore, it is not advisable to formulate your own feed, and it is preferable that you go depend upon a dependable company which manufactures balanced feed. That means your role either in the heredity or the genetics and the balanced feed is very, very minimum. Coming to the managemental aspect, at least 75% of this, the management depends upon the person who looks after the birds. That is the attender, how he does the work, what he does. And it becomes the duty of the supervisor to see that the attender does the work correctly. And it becomes your responsibility to correctly educate the supervisor, as nearly 75% of it, of the success depends upon the work of the attender and how you train him up, how you supervise whether he is doing that work properly or not. That's why management becomes more important from your point of view. That's why I will be talking more about poultry management today. Among the poultry farming, it can be, in Indian context, it can be categorized into 3 categories. One is commercial poultry farming, where birds are reared under optimum condition in big farms like 5 lakh birds, 10 lakh birds, like that. There, the managemental aspect and everything would be optimum, and your interference there will be very minimum. You will not be required to do anything there. The second is rural poultry. Rural poultry is one in which you rear the birds under suboptimal conditions. That means there are some situations where you know what is correct, but you will not be in a position to implement it. Say, for example, I will be talking, while talking about layer management, I will be telling about the light. 16.5 an hour light is necessary per day for the birds. But what to do in our villages? There may not be electricity supply at all. We know that 16.5 an hour light has to be provided, but we don't have any means to provide that artificial light. This is rearing under suboptimal conditions. I told you about the importance of balanced feeding. Yes, we know that balanced feeding is very important, but in a small unit, when you order for 5 or 6 bags or maximum 10 bags of feed, no feed manufacturer will send a truck with the 10 bags of feed to your farm. Only when he has a full truckload in that route, he may add another 10 bags to it, which will be unloaded in your farm. That means maybe for a day or two, you may have to manage the birds with whatever is available in the household and not the balanced feed. This is suboptimal management. That is rural poultry. For this, you need birds with a different genetic makeup. Definitely, the production gets affected, but the birds will survive. The commercial poultry farming birds, which are very high producers, cannot withstand such vagaries. Even few days of unbalanced feed, you will start getting morbidity and mortality. But these birds, which are meant for rural poultry, they are a bit sturdy. The production is less, but they can withstand such suboptimal managemental conditions. And the third one is backyard poultry farming, where birds are left at the mercy of the nature. These are the 3 different stages of rearing. Number 1 is chick stage, 0 to 8 weeks. They are considered as chicks. And 9 to 18 weeks, we consider them as growers. And from 19th week onwards, we call them as layers or breeders, as the case may be. Similarly, there are three types of buildings, poultry houses, which are provided for these birds. But the growers are reared in grower houses. Hello. Yeah, phone. Chicks are reared in brooder houses. Chicks are reared in brooder houses. That means brooding is a process which is very important. That's why even though it is rare, the building is meant for rearing chicks, it is called brooder house. Whereas the growers are reared in grower houses and layers are reared in layer houses. What is brooding? Brooding is providing external assistance to the chicks to maintain its normal physiological temperature. Birds find it difficult in the early stages to maintain their normal physiological temperature. Unless the normal physiological temperature is maintained, it is not possible for the normal physiological functioning of the body. That's why some external assistance is necessary. Here, majority of the small farmers commit mistake. What are all the things they do and what happens with it? Let us talk a bit about it. I'll come to this management of the house afterwards. The type of houses are called brooder house, grower house, and layer house. That's what I told you. Brooding is providing external assistance in the form of heat to maintain the normal physiological temperature of chicks. Earlier days, it used to be maintained for 4 weeks. Nowadays, as their basal metabolic rate, as their growth rate has increased, first 3 weeks brooding is sufficient. This is what most of the farmers do. The small farmers I am talking about, they leave the chicks in a chick guard. You can see a small wall-like thing constructed with cardboard, that is chick guard, to prevent the chicks from wandering away from the source of heat. They have to be confined into a smaller area, so a chick guard is provided. Usually a chick guard area of approximately 10 feet diameter would be sufficient for 250 chicks, 250 to 300, depending upon the type of birds. That means if they are fast growing broiler-like chicks, 250 is the maximum. And the layer type or rural type birds, you can rear up to 300 chicks under within that chick guard of 10 feet diameter. They usually hang a bulb like this. As you can see, a bulb is hung over it so that they get some heat. But do they really get heat? You think of your school days, they would have taught you the transmission, the modes of heat transmission: conduction, convection, and radiation. Where the heat is transmitted from molecule to molecule, it is called conduction. When heated molecule moves to an upper strata, it is convection. When heat is transmitted without heating the media, it is radiation. When you hang a bulb like this, the bulb gets heated. Due to that hot bulb, the air surrounding the bulb gets heated. Then the convection current sets in. That means the hot air, where the molecules become light, goes to the upper strata, and to fill in the gap, cold air comes down. That means you are creating an artificial air current of cold air onto the chicks instead of providing heat. So rather than doing help to the chicks, you are harming the chicks. In summer months, they may not die, but the owner may die. They may eat more for the normal maintenance. But in winter months, definitely chicks will die if you simply hang bulb like this. Some people use reflector like this. Again, it is useless. It is not trapping any hot air. This is one method of brooding where infrared bulbs are used. Here, the transmission of heat is by radiation. That means without heating the media. That means air is not heated, so there is no question of hot air going to the upper strata and cold air coming down. Only when the infrared rays strike a solid object, it may be chick, litter, feed, water, paper, whatever it may be, when the rays strike some solid object, heat is generated. If you keep your hand beneath that, within 2 or 1.5 to 2 minutes, you feel like withdrawing your hand. It gets so much heated. But the air is not heated. So there is no question of trapping any hot air. The added advantage with this infrared bulb is infrared rays are germicidal in nature. They kill the disease organisms. So the chick mortality gets reduced. That's why infrared brooding is becoming more and more popular. I'll come to this a minute afterwards. This is hover brooding. That means the most common hover is inverted basket-like structure. Here, the box-like things are used to trap the hot air. The hot air is trapped within that. Only when it becomes cool, it passes beneath that hover lip. The inverted basket-like structure will have at the base, at the bottom, about 5 feet diameter. At the top, it would be about 3 feet in diameter with a depth of about 15 inches. Under each hover, 250 to 300 chicks can be reared. Again, the gap between the hover lip and the litter should be sufficient so that the chicks can move comfortably. It should be possible for them to go beneath the hover or come out comfortably. This is one thing which is gaining more and more popularity in recent days. The heat generated by the chicks are utilized. It is called biobrooding. The chicks are kept in a confined area with a tent-like thing where the heat is not wasted. Whatever heat is generated by the chick is utilized to keep the normal physiological temperature of the chick. Like that, chicks can be reared. Coming back to the type of houses, this is one sketch showing you the different dimensions. The building has to be always east-west lengthwise with the sides on towards north and south. That means neither in the morning nor in the afternoon the sunlight should fall directly into the poultry shed, because sunlight falling directly into the shed onto the chicks will cause discomfort to the chicks, as the heat would be more, and dissipation of heat, losing of the heat from the body is really difficult in case of birds, as they do not have sweat glands, nor the body is covered with feather, which is like a sweater or blazer that they are wearing. So getting rid of heat from the body is difficult for the chicks. That's why at no time of the day, the light should fall directly into the poultry shed. I don't know. You can see the dimensions. As I told you, the building have to be east-west lengthwise with sides on north and south to open for ventilation. The width of the poultry house, maximum width of a poultry house is 30 feet. Many people prefer it to be only 25 feet. So you can have it that it is between 25 to 30 feet.
स्क्रीन थोड़ा छोटा हो गया
स्क्रीन
डिस्प्ले फुल डिस्प्ले करिए ना
राइट सो
स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं
ओके The building have to be at least 1.5 to 2 feet above the ground level to avoid moisture from the ground in rainy season. The plinth of the house, you should project the side walls by about 1.5 feet to prevent entry of rats into the house. And the side height, the total height is about 8 feet. And at the center, it's about 10 to 12 feet, depending on the rainfall of the area. The roof should overhang the shed by about 2.5 to 3 feet to prevent rainwater splashing it into the poultry house. This is the photograph of one of the ideal poultry houses. Of course, this is not elevated from the ground. Probably it doesn't have any rat problem in that area. Otherwise, it is preferable that it is raised about 1.5 to 2 feet, and plinth projecting will definitely help. Nowadays, especially in Indian conditions where electricity is not there, coal brooding, charcoal brooding is also done. But the drawback of this is regulating the temperature is not very easy. Rising the temperature or reducing the temperature is not very convenient in this method. And the problem of fire hazard is also there. But something is better than nothing. When electricity is not there, when you want to go in for poultry farming, brooding has to be done, then charcoal brooding can be done. And there is another method called gas brooding. The common cooking gas can be used for this, for brooding purpose, but as it works out to be a bit expensive, this has not become very popular in usage. In the brooder, as you can see in this picture, the outer circle is the chick guard, the inner circle is the hover, the feeder and waterers will have to be alternated like this. One feeder, one waterer, one feeder, one waterer. And 50% of the, approximately 50% of the feeder and water should be within the hover and 50% should be outside, so that it becomes easy for the movement of the chicks, and whether they are beneath the hover or outside the hover, they should get both feed and water. The condition of the chicks, whether the brooding is comfortable for them or not, can be decided by the comfort of the chicks, by the behavior of the chicks. As you can see here, if you see the second sketch, where all the chicks are huddled in the center, it indicates that temperature is not sufficient and the chicks are huddling in the center. The third one is the chicks are going away from the source of heat. That means the heat is more. You have to reduce the heat. And the fourth one is that it is drafty. That means there is wind, high velocity wind blowing into the poultry house. The first diagram where the chicks are evenly distributed beneath the hover and outside the hover are that is the most suitable behavior of the chicks. To conserve the heat, the house will be usually, the sides will be covered with curtain like this, so that the heat generated by the chicks and the bulbs are conserved inside. But can you keep it completely closed continuously, or should you open it once in a way? If at all, if we are opening, how much to open, when to open, which side of it you should open. All these things will have to be learned